I am super nervous, super excited. ఎందుకంటే ఎవ్రీడే రేడియోలో ఈ పాట Sidsriram పాడారు అని చెప్తూనే ఉంటాను. అండ్ మీరు అందరం ఎంజాయ్ చేస్తాము. అండ్ టుడే గెస్ వాట్, లైవ్ లో నా పక్కన Sidsriram గారు ఉన్నారు. ఇట్ ఇస్ సచ్ అ ప్రివిలేజ్ టు బి టాకింగ్ టు యూ హియర్. Welcome to Radio Mirchi. It is really wonderful talking to you.
Thank you so much.
And I'm really looking forward because it's even more difficult, as I told you before we started this,
Sure.
because I have to speak in English throughout. But
thank
hope
you for doing that for me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. So Sid, we were just talking. Is it difficult? I mean, why is Telugu? When are you going to speak Telugu to us?
So I think for so long, most of my time, even now, but I guess a little bit less now, but so much of my time has just been taken by music, making sure that I'm fully immersed in that world. So I haven't really had the time to sit down, and my brain works a specific way where I need to have a few months of quiet time to really take a new language in. So now I think I got a head start because I know the nuances of the pronunciation, the phonetics of the language, and I have a deep love for it. And there's a lot of words that I'm starting to understand more and more now. But I think my task between now and 2026 is to hopefully be able to speak in Telugu by the early part of next year. So I'm going to work on it for sure.
That's lovely. We can help you.
Great.
Please coming more to our studio so that we can keep
Sure.
talking to you in Telugu, and you'll be able to understand and also speak in Telugu.
I'll come for a weekly session.
Yeah, that would be lovely. That would be lovely. So Sid, I wanted to ask you this question for so long. Sidsriram is perfect in everything that he does in singing. Does he still practice every day?
Of course. Yeah, I think so I come from a background in Carnatic music, which is just, a really deep form, a very complex form. And I, to this day, perform Carnatic concerts very regularly. So I'm practicing every day. If I'm at home for around 2-3 hours, in the morning for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then afternoon for about 2 hours. So yeah, practicing all the time. That's what makes it fun too. I think for me, even though I've now been in this industry for 12 years, I still feel like there's so much more for me to learn and to discover and explore. So I'm practicing as much as I can. And I feel like I've still only scratched the surface. So there's a lot more that I want to do.
That is so humble of you to say that, I'm sure. And I always keep hearing Balasubrahmanyam garu say this one thing, that he never, practiced something that, singers should quit ice creams or certain kind of foods for their voice.
Yes.
Do you believe in that? Is it true, or does it imply to you?
Well, so I agree with him. He said that singers should not eat ice cream?
No. He didn't say that. It doesn't imply to him.
Yeah. So I agree with him. I think, well, one in a scientific way, by the time ice cream actually hits your vocal cords, it's already passed through your mouth, so it's not cold anymore. So it's not going to do anything to you. But I also think beyond, obviously watching, for me, I specifically try to stay away from super spicy foods, because that gives me a bit of acid, and then that affects my voice. But I think more than that, one's lifestyle choices, exercising, practicing. And then one thing that I really learned from watching SPB Garu sing is the ability to really master your breath. So if you can do that, then that is the biggest thing. Your lung capacity, your breath, that is such a pivotal part of singing. So I completely agree with what he has said, for sure.
That's lovely. Do you listen?
Yeah, of course. My grandfather was a musician, a Carnatic musician, but also a film composer and arranger. And he had known SPB Garu from when SPB Garu was young. And my grandfather passed away in 2011, before my career really took off or started in films. But I met SPB sir in one of A.R. Rahman's shows, which I was also performing in. So I went and spoke to him that time and mentioned my grandfather, and he spoke very fondly of him. And that one interaction, obviously we all know he's a genius musician, and he was just the voice of the country in so many ways. But as a human being, he's also the sweetest. And, that humility, it wasn't a fake humility. It was a very real. That's why he was able to just be at the top of his musical game until the very end. So definitely miss him, I think. And blessed to have met him, blessed to live in a time where his music still kind of is such a huge part of our lives, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, it's really difficult to it's very unfair for me to ask what is the one song that will remember you of SPB Garu. But if you have to answer that, what is the one song that will just give an image of him?
So for me, it's I don't know the Telugu version of the song, but Kadal Roja Be. Kadal
Na
Roja
Cheli
Be.
Roja.
Yeah. So that song was the first song of his that I heard when I was young, and it's kind of been the soundtrack for me from that time till now. But there's so many songs, and I mean everyone speaks about his versatility and the fact that he just didn't fit in one box. Even his acting, it was magical, and dubbing, and yeah, he was just a musician's musician while also appealing to the masses, and that's a very difficult thing to do. So, but I think that song from the film Roja is that's my favorite.
That's cute. And talking about versatility, you are super versatile, and when we hear your Carnatic kacheris, it is magical. It literally feels I have to be more connected, spiritually connected
Thank you.
to God in general, just hearing to your music. What do you enjoy more? If you have to give that 1% extra weightage, will it be the live full energy concerts or just immersing yourself into Carnatic music, classical concerts?
It's a bit of a cliche answer, but I can't really I can't choose. And I'll say this: I don't view it as like either this or that. For me, it looks like if I'm looking at it like a graph, it's like one big circle, and at the very center of it is Carnatic music. So that's the thing that has really raised me and made me the musician that I am. And everything else that I do is born out of that. So my film music, all my songs in film, I'm able to sing the way I can in that space because of my grounding in Carnatic music and the years I've spent just really learning from my mother, developing my voice. And then that energy too, that ability to tap into an energy that feels almost like it's just from another place. That's the same energy that I tap into when I'm doing my film sets, and they're rock shows for sure, and it's a lot more of me jumping around than sitting in one place. But it still feels like I'm immersed in an energy that feels like it's spiritual, even though the songs are love songs or whatever they're about. The same kind of spiritual, like tapping into that energy, it remains the same for sure.
Nice. Are you a spiritual person?
I would say so. I think, yeah, actually, not. I definitely am. I when I was younger, it was much more of a confusing kind of thing. But music has been my way of finding spirituality. I'm Hindu, and that's how I was raised. And in Carnatic music, with it being so kind of steeped in Hindu mythology, that form was my way of kind of understanding first my religion, and then beyond just religion and such. I think having music as a way to understand that we are just a speck, and my mom used to always tell me this when I was younger, but music is really like the universe and it's infinite in that way. So that she was, really telling me to make sure that I never got arrogant, and that I always realized that I'm just a vessel, that's channeling something that's far greater than myself. So music is the thing that really allowed me to understand spirituality in more of a personal level rather than just looking at it as something that's distant.
That's so amazing. I mean, I absolutely agree to what you said. It was so lovely. I mean, I think I needed to hear that today. And also talking about your music, how versatile, we've been speaking about that. But also I think your music, your singing is a lot more melodies. Sure. And melodies are, they are very... in Telugu, they tend to be more, very difficult words. In Telugu, they're in melodies.
Sure.
But how do you manage to sing that? Who helps you in the language, the lyrics, to understand it better for you to sing?
I've been blessed that in most cases, the director, the lyricist, and the music director, if they're also Telugu, they've been very helpful. I think also here I must thank my fan base, my Telugu-speaking fan base, for being patient with me over the years. Because honestly, when I first started, I didn't understand, as is true with any language, you're not going to get the nuance. You're not going to understand like the little subtle things that make one word mean one thing, and such. So the fan base has been patient, and as I've grown, I feel like they've grown with me and really been a part of the journey. But the people that help me the most is definitely the lyricists that I've worked with, and the directors and music directors. I remember for the song from Geeta Govindam, Inkem Kavale, I was in the US when I was recording that, and the director Balasubrahmanyam was just sending me multiple voice notes on WhatsApp and just really kind of taking the time to get it right. And obviously I've always known that I can sing well, but then to be able to get into the spirit of the lyrics and to really understand that and do justice to it, that's a whole other kind of dimension to this job. So I've had great people around me who really kind of helped me in this journey of understanding the complexities and the nuances of the language.
Do you remember the toughest word that you had to crack and you were just pulling your head? Ki, what is this? How am I able to going to pull this off?
I feel like it's never like a word as such, but it's more like making the word sound natural.
Yes.
So like Kallalona, for example. Like I could miss that first two L's and say that the wrong way, and then it changes the meaning, or it just people will be able to tell that just it sounds jarring and it doesn't come in that flow. So I don't think words are necessarily difficult for me anymore. Maybe in the beginning they were, but somewhere along the way it stopped becoming about whether it was hard to say the word or sing the word, but how can I make this sound natural and convey the emotion at the same time, and not because if I'm not in that space and if I'm feeling like I'm forcing it, then the listener's also going to feel that energy too. So that's been the biggest challenge, and that's been it's one that I've enjoyed kind of working on for sure.
That's all right, because in Telugu, then as you said, the nuances are very very small. Pelli, we say there
For
is
sure.
an ala.
Yes,
Pelli.
that one took me a while to get, or even like there's like the like pump pat, like that pat, like the like the like little things like this where I and I'm still working at it. I think learning the language, speaking the language will give me an even like deeper kind of understanding of it. But it's been fun to. There's multiple languages like Telugu. Has been like one, and since I've sung so many songs in Telugu now, I feel like I have a certain grasp. Malayalam is another language that has a whole other set of syllables that is really difficult, and but it's really fun because then I think all this speaks to this is just in southern India, but then there's also above the southern belt there's a whole other set of languages. It speaks to the complexity, the diversity, and the beauty of the country. I think to have so many different languages within the subcontinent, and then within that different dialects and so on and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
And okay, when it comes to the lyrics, the lyricist, everybody helps you. But how do you get the feel of the song? Because when you emote it, when we listen to the song, it feels like a proper Telugu person is singing a song. But how do you carry that emotion while singing a different language?
I think that's just something I really kind of resonate with melody first and foremost. Like in a song, when I hear something, the first thing that registers is the tune of the song, and that's normally my reference point to understand what the emotion of the song is. So when I listen to it, when I agree to sing a song, automatically that tune would kind of be ringing in my head, and I make sure just to internalize that and have that become as subconscious as possible, and then the rest is left up to God. Just again, like surrendering to the moment, not really thinking about, I want the song to become a hit, or I hope this is successful, or thinking about it, just like being present in the moment and enjoying the process. I love singing. It's literally my favorite thing to do. It's been my favorite thing to do since as far back as I can remember. So just really enjoying the opportunity of getting to sing these songs. And normally if I'm doing that, if I'm present, if I'm enjoying myself, and if I really kind of surrender to that process, the emotion naturally kind of comes for sure.
That's amazing. But who do you think is that one singer, outside who's not a Telugu person, who has just nailed singing Telugu songs, let it be the diction or the emotion? Who do you think that person is?
I feel like a lot of people say this, but Shreya Ghoshal is pretty consistently like nailing it, And I've sung a couple duets with her, met her a few times, and again, you can tell when you meet a human being that they have really kind of given themselves to music and are definitely like submitting to the music. And she's one of those individuals where you can see that music just kind of flows through her and out of her. So, and you can always tell that the pronunciation is spot on with her. So she really takes the time to do the work, which is super. I just respect that immensely.
I guess I was already guessing that answer would come out of your mouth.
Yeah, she and any language she sings in. Tamil, I've heard, and it's always just there's that attention to detail, which is great.
That's amazing. And now coming to the concert, we are having your concert here on the 15th of February.
Yeah.
We are all super excited. Already all my friends have started calling me and asking, can we get the passes? When are we getting the passes? So we're all super excited. But I wanted to ask you, when it comes to me, whenever I'm going to take an interview, right before the interview, there is a kind of nervousness.
Yeah.
Does Sidsriram also feel that kind of nervousness before getting onto the stage?
Yes, definitely. Every single time. It's always like that
This is so unbelievable.
20-30 minutes before it used to be like the whole day leading up to I'd be nervous. But now it's just like that 30-45 minutes before you start to feel the butterflies. And I'll be really worried if I don't feel that anymore. Because I don't know, I feel like that energy is like the excitement, the anticipation. And also every time that I felt the butterflies, those butterflies and that nervousness ends up manifesting in just like really positive energy on stage, adrenaline, and something magical. So I feel it before every show, no matter how big or small. And I'm grateful for that because it shows me that I still deeply, deeply care about what I do and that it's still something that, again, 12 years in means the world to me. So I definitely feel nervous and I like it. The thing that I don't feel anymore is before I used to feel nervous and then I'd get in my head, I'm like, oh, what if the show goes? Now I know that this is just part of the process and I'm fine with it.
Guys, Sidsriram also feels nervous. So I think it's absolutely fine for all of us to feel the same. But
I even feel it before interviews and stuff sometimes too. You know, like I think any experience that just feels like it's going to be new or whatever, there's always a little bit of nerves. And I like it. It keeps me young.
Did you feel that today though?
Yeah, of course. Before anything, before any like new interaction, there's a little bit. The most nerves I feel is before going on stage, for sure. But other things as well. But again, like I said, it keeps me young, which is good.
Amazing. We know what we expect, what we want to expect from a concert, and especially when it's yours. Like we almost expect nothing because we know you're going to deliver your best and you're going to enjoy your songs thoroughly. But what do you expect as an artist from the audience?
Yeah, just
in a concert.
I think specifically for my shows, there's the way that myself and my band perform. There's like a deep honesty. There's no inhibitions. We're all just on stage having the times of our lives. So from the audience, and when we come with that energy, every single time I've seen the audience, they're open and they give that energy back to us. So I think I also expect nothing from the audience. I just want them to be there and just to, I guess if there's anything I expect is just come with an open heart, because our shows are all about, like I was saying, honesty, being sincere, spreading love, and just real, true, positive energy. And it happens every show. You're standing on that stage, and I look out, and you just see people smiling and genuinely like feeling really happy, screaming and singing along
and crying also.
Yeah, sure, all of it, and the whole kind of spectrum of emotions, and we feel all that on stage as well. And so the only thing I want from the fans that come to the show is just join us on the journey and we'll go on it together. I haven't performed in Hyderabad now for 3 years, and I love it. I love the city a lot, and I owe so much of my success to this city. So I can't wait to be back on February 15th. It's the day after Valentine's Day, so it's gonna be like love's gonna be really special. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
It's amazing. We are too. We are looking forward to it, like big time.
Thank you.
And where does Telugu people take a place in your heart? Because we've loved you. Since the beginning,
Sure.
all your songs are super hit in Telugu,
Sure.
and Telugu people are genuinely so much love-giving people. So
Sure.
where do we stand out in your heart?
A very deep place.
What do we mean to you?
The world, honestly. Like I remember my first time ever coming to Hyderabad was after or when Kareli was releasing. So that was my first the first film that I sang for, and that too was like the main song was Tamil but Telugu dub. But I came here to perform with AR Sir for like the audio launch, and from that point already I felt a certain connection. And though the fan base was small at that time for me, I could feel like an intense love from the fans who did, shower me with love at that point in time. It was really like Adiga Adiga onwards, then especially after Inkem Kavale, which was like the first two pure Telugu songs that I recorded, where I was mainly doing Tamil songs up until that point, and then this happened, and I grew up in the U.S., so I wasn't completely aware of all the different. I knew the different film industries existed within the country, but I wasn't intimately aware of how they operated, and my Telugu fans they really kind of catapulted my career to a whole other level. I feel like up until In came out, it was like on one trajectory, and then that song came out, and it's like sharp went. So the language, the people, all occupy a huge part of my heart, a very deep part of my heart, and I have to this day when I'm out and about, and there's also a lot of Telugu people in the States where I live in California when I'm over there, and even like when I'm not in the country, and just the amount of genuine love that has been shown to me, it's something that I do not take lightly at all. It means the world, and beyond like having a career that's been financially abundant and such. I think for me, music is something that is way deeper than anything else, and the fact that I've been able to connect with the folks from here in that way, in that profound way, it's something that, it's just infinite value. I really, they mean the world to me. Sure.
Thank you so much. You mean the world to us too.
Thank you.
And I'll just wind this up by asking one last question.
Mm-hmm.
You've been performing all over the world, almost everywhere, many states, many cities, many different audience. Which place did you find that what a crazy energy this is? I love this energy. What is that one city where you performed you felt this?
It's hard
I
to
know
say.
it's very unfair for me to ask this, but
There's a few. I mean, like, I think there's a specific show back in right before the pandemic here in Hyderabad. It must have been like late Jan, early Feb of 2020. It was an interesting time. It was like a very grueling time for me, just career-wise. 2019 was one of the busiest years of my life. Got to Hyderabad and did that show, and it was a lot of people in the audience. And that show specifically here in Hyderabad just like left a deep mark in my head and my heart. There's just like some shows just have this energy that you can't really put into words, where you just walk away feeling like this is very blessed, that's so I would say Hyderabad is one of the cities. I grew up in San Francisco in California, and this last year I went back there to do a show over there, and that was also really special. It felt good to go back to the place where my whole childhood and teenage years and everything, and I didn't think it would feel different, but I went back there and got on stage, and there was a certain hometown just energy that was really special. But Hyderabad definitely, like that one show, and then 3 years ago I was here for another show. Both of them, the first one especially though, because it was just I didn't know what to expect. And you see comments on the internet or you get good messages and such, but until you see it in person, there's nothing quite like that. And yeah, so that's my answer.
That's amazing. And you told that Hyderabad is your place where you felt that crazy energy.
Yeah.
This time it's going to be double.
I can't wait.
This Feb 15th, we are going to create a lot of chaotic energy and we're going to sing along with you.
Yes.
It's going to be fun and we're all looking forward. Thank you so much for giving your time and bearing with my very bad English throughout.
Your English
I was
absolutely
struggling.
spot on.
I was struggling to speak.
It was great, and now it's giving me incentive to learn Telugu by next year, and we'll do a full interview in Telugu, God willing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.